Well, hello again and welcome to another edition of Shed Talk, my weekly magazine video series looking at the keeping, breeding and showing of cage birds, with as always a particular focus on the exhibition style budgerigars. So another episode, and what have we got in store for you in this one? Well, there hasn't been any shows, so this episode is solely focused on what's going on in the both my sheds. So the first thing we're going to do is we will have a look at a breeding update from all of the budgerigar cages. Now we've moved the last of the youngsters out of the breeding cages. We've either got pairs that are now on their second round, or should be on their second round, and a couple of newish pairs that are yet to start. And indeed one of those new pairs, of course, is the pair we looked at in the last episode, which is the, I suppose you could call it the subscribers pair, the pairing cage number 4. So we'll have an update on seeing whether there's been any progress yet, very early of course, any progress on that particular pair. The other thing is, as you may have gathered from the title of the episode, is we do have some new Fifes that we've managed to get in. So we'll have a look at those and have a quick talk about where I got those from, also in the second part of the episode. As always, if you enjoy these videos, don't forget to hit the like button. All the likes help it to get a slightly wider audience on YouTube. Do of course comment on anything you see in any of the videos, or anything you'd like to see in a future video. And if you're not yet a subscriber, why not? Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for early notifications, and you will get early notifications of when I release the future upcoming videos. So, right, what we'll do now then is we will do our customary run round of the breeding cages, starting of course with the pairing cage 1. So pair 1 are on their second round, and this is a light green dominant pied outcross that we got from Terry Sadler, that we've crossed to one of our birds, which is a light green cinnamon hen. So like I say, on their second round we had a really successful first round of this pair, laid a total of 8 eggs, of which 7 were full, 5 hatched, and we've managed to wean 4 of them. And very early thought is that 2 of those look like they might be quite useful birds, but we will have a look at the all of the young birds in the very next episode, so I won't talk too much about what they were, but given that 2 of them were reasonable, we've let this pair go for a second round. So in their second round they've currently laid, let me just double check, they currently laid 6 eggs. Now strangely enough, the hen, or the cockbird, I think it was the hen, destroyed the first 2 eggs, and I have absolutely no reason, no understanding, or no, can't think of any reason why she would have done that. I popped the marbles in there to see if that would stop her from destroying the eggs, and she turfed the marbles out. She managed to get them out of the nest box. So I was a little bit worried that this hen might have suddenly decided that she was going to become an egg eater for whatever reason. So when she laid the 3rd egg, I didn't mark it. You may know that as I get the eggs, I mark them, I number them with a green pen, and I didn't mark it and left it in there, wondering whether she was a bit upset with me touching the eggs or whatever. She had no problem in the first round. Anyway, that egg she didn't destroy. She then laid a 2nd egg, and again that one she didn't destroy, at which point I did mark them. I marked them egg number, I think I actually marked them 1 and 2, given the first 2 eggs were destroyed, and she didn't, there was no problem with her with those eggs either. So it does look as if she's got over that. So she's now laid a total of additional 4 eggs, so 6 in total, first 2 destroyed, and the first 2 of those are full. So we're just waiting on the the last two, we haven't candled those 2 eggs yet, but touch wood, given that she's now settled down and given that those 2 eggs are full, we may get at least 4 additional full eggs. Bearing in mind she did lay 8 in the first round, so she might be still laying. Anyway, that's this particular pair then. Like we say, we've got 4 eggs, 2 full, she laid 6, 2 have been destroyed, but it now looks like we're well into the second round with this pair, and if I get a couple more useful youngsters off this pair, I will be quite pleased. I might well split this pair after this, because there's a few pairs I want to get down that are in the main flight that are just reaching maturity, and I want to capture those quite early on in the breeding season. What I might do is give this cockbird another go with a different hen, just so we've got a bit more of that his blood in the shed. Don't know, thoughts on that? Let me know what you think. So anyway, that's pair 1. What we'll do now is we'll move on to pair number 2. And in case 2, we've got another outcross bird. This is the Lutino that we also picked up from Terry Sadler, and we crossed that to an opaline cinnamon light green. These had a reasonable first round with almost all the eggs were full, though they did take a little while to go down, and we ended up with 3 chicks that were on the cage floor. For some unknown reason to me, I came in, I must have been about a week ago, just over a week ago, to the shed, and the yellow-faced albino chick was dead on the bottom of the floor. There was no sign that it had been attacked by the adults, and there was no indication that it had been ill. The day before, it had been feeding from the seed dish, so really no idea why that bird just, keeled over and passed away. Disappointing that we lost the only red eye from that first nest. The other 2 chicks, which of course had both split for the Ino gene, are okay, and they are now moved into the nursery flight and doing reasonably well in there. So touchwood, we'll get 2 off of the first round. This pair have now started their second round. So far they've laid a total of 4 eggs in that round. Still continuing to lay. I'm expecting the hen to lay another 2. First egg was clear, second egg is full, so I'm hoping the remainder of the eggs are full. Whenever the hen comes out of the nest box, the cockbird is feeding her, and looking to mate with her. So like I say, I'm hoping that the remainder of the eggs in there are full, and that we get another red eye in the nest, and that we can manage to get that one through to full weaning and hopefully up onto the perch. Well, there we go. So that's the pair in pair 2. Bit of success, I suppose. We've got 2 chicks in the nursery flight, and we've got what we're hoping to be another round with some full eggs in it. So that's pair number 2. What about pair number 3? So K3 and pair number 3. This is a opaline cinnamon sky blue that is another outcross, and is the outcross from Rick Watts, and we paired that to a yellow-faced grey. First round we had only 1 egg was full, and that was a dead in shell. So no success on the first round. On the second round, a bit more success. So far they've laid, let me just double check, so 6 eggs. So they've laid 6 eggs in the second round, of which 3 of those eggs are definitely full. So, and it was the middle 3 eggs that were full. So they had 2 clear, 3 full, and then 1 clear at the end. So I'm hoping, and the first one of these is due to hatch very, very shortly, and I'm hoping that we will be a bit more successful with getting something off of this Rickrock outcross and the yellow-faced grey. So in this round, because the bird is coming to the end of its, or the cock bird is coming to the end of its breeding period, I suppose. So, you know, it's getting a bit old now, so I expect this is going to be the last season for this particular bird. So getting a few more genes out of the cock bird would be really, really useful. And like I say, we've got 3 full eggs, so again, touch wood, we will get at least 1 or 2 chicks off of this final, or this round, from this particular pair. So that's the pair number 3 in cage number 3. Let's have a look at the new pair that's in cage number 4. So moving on to cage number 4, which of course is pair number 8, and this is the pair that we voted on, or you voted on, as to which ones we would put down. So as I think I called it in the last episode, the subscribers pair, and this is a sky blue cockbird to a light green cinnamon hen. The cockbird's a fairly oldish bird, but has done reasonably well for me on the show bench, and has done previously done reasonably well for me in the breeding cages. So touch wood, he's not going to be too old to fill eggs. You may remember in the last episode when we put this pair together, they were being, you know, they were clearly compatible. There was lots of mutual grooming. That's continued in the breeding cage. They've been in the breeding cage now for about 3, possibly 4 days. And I have just today turned the nest box round, so open the nest box up to give the hen a chance to go in there and start clearing it out. Still very, very early days for this particular pair, but as I say, they are compatible. We have seen, you know, they've continued with that mutual grooming. I haven't seen the hen go in the nest box just yet, but like I said just a second ago, it is very early days. We've only just opened the nest box up. So touch wood, we will get something off of this new pair, the subscribers pair, or pair number 8. Looking at cage number 5, which is pair number 5, and was the last of the pairs that we put down. You may remember this was a love pairing that we pulled out of the flight. The hen was showing a lot of interest, and being shown a lot of interest from 2 cockbirds. One was the sky blue that we just looked at in cage number 4, and the other one was a light green that we eventually paired her to. The reason we didn't pair her to the sky blue was because he is the father of this particular hen. The hen is a dark green. So they went down quite really quickly, and we managed to get a round of 6 eggs off of this pair, of which 5 eggs were full. We managed to, of those 5 eggs, 4 of them hatched. We lost the youngest one, but the other 3 were all rung and were all weaned. So successful, managed to get some weaning out of them. Disappointment is actually none of the 3 chicks looked particularly good. Bit disappointing, in fact, the chicks off of this particular pair. They're on their final round, they're on their second round. It will be their final round, partly because this round they've laid 6 eggs, and all 6 eggs look to be clear to me, and also because of the disappointment in the first round in terms of the standard of the youngsters. Once I'm sure that the last egg in here is clear, I'm going to take the cockbird out, and then gradually remove the eggs, split this pair and put a new pair down in the new year in here. A couple of the younger birds that we've got in there, one of the nice looking young hens, and one of the younger cockbirds in there. So we got a couple of birds off of this pair, but nothing to shout about, and we'll have a good look at the birds off of this particular pair in the next episode when we do our first assessment of the young birds. So that's pair 5. We'll now have a look at pair number 6. So the final pair we're going to look at is in cage 6, and this again is a relatively new pairing. The cockbird is a cinnamon grey green that's been in there a little while, but we swapped partners because the other hen we thought was a little bit old and wasn't really doing anything in the nest box. So we swapped that for, let me just double check, an opaline cinnamon sky blue hen. This is the opaline cinnamon that got the CC for me at Swindon. So I was quite hopeful for this. They've now been in here for about 3 weeks, and the hen has only just started to clear the nest box. I'm not sure why. She looked in condition when I put her in there. She, there was no indication that she wouldn't go down to breed reasonably quickly, but she hasn't done. And she, like I say, she's only just started clearing the nest box. The cockbird is showing lots of interest in her. She, there's lots of whenever she goes towards the nest box, he shows lots of interest in her, and when she comes out, again, lots of feeding of her. I've not seen any mating here yet. So what's my plan here then? So if I'm going to give them at least another week to see if she does finally start laying. There is no signs of the big poos in the bottom of the cage yet that would indicate that. But seeing as she has started to clear the nest box out, if she hadn't started doing that, then I would have probably thinking about splitting this pair and putting a new pair in there. But given that she is starting to clear the nest box, my plan with the final pair, pair number 6, is to give them, like I say, about another week to 2 weeks to see if she does finally start laying. Well, that is a complete roundup of all of the 6 breeding cages. So again, it's a little bit, 50-50 here. We've got cages with eggs, cages with clear rounds, and some with full eggs in them. So, and one pair where the full egg is about, where the eggs should be about to hatch. So, going on this lead up to Christmas, not disappointed, but it's not ecstatic about the middle phase, or this middle phase of these first rounds of birds. So, like I say, that's a full roundup of the breeding. What we will do now is I will pop out to the outside flight, pick out those 2 new Fifes that we got, and we'll take a look at those. So this is the first of the 2 new birds then, and it's a heavily variegated buff hen. Really grateful to Dave Tovell for picking me out a couple of birds to go with the 2 yellows that I've got. So, like I say, this is the first one. I do actually think the 2 birds that Dave very kindly found for me out of his shed are a step up on what I've got actually in the cages at the moment. So this will be the first bird, and this will be paired across to one of my birds in the spring. And we'll make my new pair number 1, I think, for the canaries, little Fifes. Yeah, jaunty little fella this one is. We will take a look at the second of the birds that I got then from Dave. And the second of the 2 birds then is this, I think it's referred to as a green or self, and it's another buff, and this time it's the cockbird to go with the yellow hen that I've got. Again, really nice little bird, and again I think it is better than the birds that I have got. So, as I say, a really nice little buff self. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I've got that wrong, but I'm reasonably sure it's called a self. Thoughts on this fella? Well, I'll take this fella and the other one back up to the Fifes shed now and put them back in their individual cages. As I think I said in the last episode, I've got them now caged off in individual cages, all 4 of them, quite large cages, so it's the double breeder that I've got up there that they will go into, so they should have enough room to keep reasonably well exercised. Like I say, I'm really pleased with the 2 birds that Dave Tovell found me out, so that is absolutely brilliant. I'm now going to have 3 pairs for next year. So I've got this pair, so the 2 birds here paired to 2 of my last year's unflighted youngsters, and I've also of course still got the original pair that I will put down again, I think, just to get a few more youngsters off of that one, seeing as a couple of them weren't too bad. And then we'll see what we've got for the show season next year. Hopefully with these 2 birds there will be a little bit of improvement on what I've currently got. Do let me have your thoughts on the 2 birds that we've got and whether I've got that right in terms of the one being a south or a green, I think it's referred to as, and the other one is a heavily variegated, I think, because of the little patch on the top of his head, or her head. Anyway, that is just about all we've got time for in this episode. As always, if you did enjoy it, then please hit the like button. Do comment, as always, on any, particularly on the 2 new Fifes, but generally on anything you've seen in this particular episode. But most importantly, as always, do stay safe and enjoy your birds.